everybody. Welcome to the Shrewdness. Thanks for joining us again. We are getting pumped up because we are just a few weeks away from NFL. And last week, we had our first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, which,
it was fun.
Isn't ever much of a game, but at least
fun for one team.
Yeah.
Football. It was fun for one team. So we're getting the fever. It's about time for fantasy football, along with just watching football in general. And so you're going to start hitting the previews really hard. And today we are going to start with our Guillotine quarterback rankings. And so what we've done, by the way, I'm Chiz. Got Dex, Prue, and Tommy here this week to talk through this with you guys. What we've done is we've all individually ranked so as to avoid the hive mind. We have individually ranked our quarterbacks, and we've done it in 4 tiers that we'll go through today. So the first tier is like your gold. If you got one of these guys, hold on to them. Never let them go. Do whatever it takes to keep
like
these guys.
Hold your breath during their bye week, and then shove them in there every other week.
That's right. This is if you get one of these, you're feeling good. Tier 2 is, hey, I'm good. I'm feeling good about these guys. I'm not worried. I think I've got a real good chance to advance next week. Tier 3 is getting dicey. Tier 3 is like, boy, I can have a good game, still make it this week.
They can have a great
Everybody
game
else
even,
shows up,
but you just don't know.
It's good. So you're rolling the dice with Tier 3, and then Tier 4 is, oh buddy, you really need. I hope that you've got some tight ends, wide receivers on your team.
Another quarterback.
Another quarterback.
And luck on your side.
Everyone else gets hurt that you're playing against, because that's where you're going to be looking to advance. So we're going to go through the tiers. We're going to go by our average. So we averaged all of us, and we got a master ranking. So we'll go from tier 1 through tier 4. Prue, do you want to start us off? Who is our overall number 1 Shrewdness Pros quarterback ranked this year?
So it might surprise nobody, but it's Josh Allen. We actually, based on our rankings, we had the top 2, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, were actually tied for number 1. So either one of those guys, you're set for the season at your quarterback spot.
But Josh Allen sometimes wins in the playoffs, and Lamar doesn't. So we gave it to Josh Allen.
Solid.
Yeah.
I actually had this year, Jackson ranked higher than Allen. And I had that for one reason. Number one, I think he's got more weapons. And I think the weapons around him will be utilized better this year than ever before. I like the way Jackson's learning. I feel like Lamar evolves way more than I expected him to.
Well, and he runs 900 yards a season. Yeah, the 900 yards helps a bunch.
It helps a ton, but he's smart. He doesn't get hurt, which when he came into the league, my biggest concern was Lamar Jackson is he was going to be broken within half a season. And he's figured out how to avoid that, which I'm impressed with. He's become a much better passer. Josh Allen's Josh Allen. He's phenomenal. He's going to be great no matter what. He's going to put up tons of points, but he had a couple dips last year. He had some dip weeks, and the floors were a little scarier to me than what Lamar had. So that's the reason I flipped.
So Lamar Jackson had 2 years where he was hurt or not himself, which was 21 and 22.
Yeah.
But I would like to point this out, and I agree with most of your guys' rankings. I for those of you watching, I was not involved in the original tier list.
These are independent.
I'm the independent guy.
Right. That's right.
Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes in the regular season last year. So that is definitely a plus. Even though he can't seem to beat him in the playoffs, there's only one quarterback still active that beats him in the playoffs. Thank you very much.
I feel like if you look at the week by week production, and I'm trying to pull it up right now. Has anybody got it up already? Week by week production from
I'll just jump. So we have Allen and Jackson. The other 2 that we have just locked down. Our top 4 is the same with all of us. Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow. So that is our top 4 tier 1 as we keep kind of going into it. So any of those guys
are fine.
Okay, I want to play a little devil's advocate here, even though I had him ranked 4th. Do we have any fear of a sophomore slump out of Jaden Daniels?
I do. I would say 100% that we were kind of talking about this before we came on. Yeah, you don't want to say it's one receiver dependent, but right now his number one weapon from last year is not signed, and he is requesting a trade.
Demanded a trade.
I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but there is one thing that I've noticed. If you look at the statistics, every time a player gets married, the year after they get married, they have a slump. And Josh Allen got married this year. So I'm just saying.
I didn't know that.
Take him off the list.
It is. I wouldn't say he doesn't drop out of top 4, but I'm just saying, as painful as I would say.
Something to take into account.
Yeah.
I would definitely, your golden child down there in the tier 2 would probably move up in that place if they make the playoffs this year. But I think Jaden Daniels could have a major step back. I don't think he's a Joe Burrow sophomore year going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I'm kind of on that too, Tommy. So Jaden Daniels, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I think he's super good and talented. I do believe he could potentially take a step back, because how do you get better than his first year? I mean, he's got an exceptionally high floor right now of what people expect. But if you lose your top weapon, if you go back and remember watching those games, Terry McLaurin saved so many of those games with phenomenal catches. He was the pillow that you love, the blankie.
That's true.
He was so critically important. I cannot believe Washington has not signed him. Pay him what he's worth, because here's what's up. If you don't sign Terry McLaurin, you've got Deebo Samuel, that stalwart, that Iron Man Deebo Samuel, who's good for like 3.5 weeks. Then you got Noah Brown, who I know back in the day, he was a high-ranking. He's Ohio State too, wasn't he, Tommy? Noah Brown, yes. And he was awesome.
And
then he got hurt, and then he was kind of hurt last year some more. You can't roll with Deebo and Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey, KJ Osborne. That's not a receiving core, man. That's a Jaden Daniels run for your life, because those guys aren't getting open or they're hurt. So there's not a lot there. To me, if you don't have McLaurin, he's that good. If he doesn't sign, or he's not on the team week 1, and hell, if he's not signed by draft time, I'm putting him like 2 tiers down, just because I lose the confidence and the trust that I had last year. And that might sound too over the top, but whatever. That could be someone else's problem, having him throw to Deebo and Noah Brown and Luke McCaffrey to try and move the ball down the field.
Of those top 4 that we have, I want to give you guys a little interest. We always talk about ceiling floor, right? Yeah. When you look at these guys, the lowest finish in fantasy points by week. So every week you're going to be ranked somewhere from 1st to 30th, 32nd.
Yeah.
Depending on how many teams are playing, right? For that week in fantasy points at the quarterback position. All of those top 4 finished first at least 1 week in their category. What do you think the lows were for these guys? The lowest ranking that any of those guys had in that top 4?
Cumulative?
Yeah, all together.
In any given week, right?
I don't know, maybe 20, probably around 20 somewhere. I still think they're always in the top 2/3.
I think Josh Allen had a terrible week or 2.
Really? Did he? He did have it. I would say they never fell out of 8 though, because when fantasy comes out, it's all about a projection. Are you saying what they finished, Chiz?
No, what they actually finished. I'm sorry. That's a good clarification, Tommy. Okay. What they actually put up in that week, where they ranked.
I'm going to say like a 26 or something from Josh Allen 1 week.
There's just not many of those, though.
No.
So here's the deal.
When Joe Burrow had 4 interceptions, he was still ranked like 12th that week.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow's lowest week was 29th. Week 1.
You stabbed me.
Week 1.
Against the Patriots?
Week 1. Now Joe, to his credit, never went. He had 126 week, but if you look across the board at him, Joe's go 29, 6, 6, 11, 3, 13, 14, 26, 1, 1, 3, 6, 3, 9, 5, right? He gets real hot at the end.
Yeah.
Josh, this is what scares me about Josh. First 4 weeks. Week 1, number 1. Week 2, 28.
Yep, drops.
Week 3, number 1. Week 4, 26.
Gosh.
I didn't know he's so yo-yo-y.
Yeah.
Yay, right? Okay, now to his credit, he only went lower than that. He only went in the 20s one more time after that. So, he got a little more consistent.
The other 14 times he was pretty good.
The reason I put Lamar first was the lowest week he had was 23.
Wow.
Second lowest week he had. yeah. The second lowest week Lamar had was 12.
Wow.
So he's consistently like top 10 almost.
Dude's numbers go 4-10, 5-4, 1-12, 1-9, 6-3, 23, 5-5-3. Dude is just
clockwork.
Consistently clockwork, right?
What's funny is that 23 week, I bet Derrick Henry was like number 1 running back.
He probably was. He was handing the ball off that whole
220 and 3 touchdowns, and Lamar said, I don't have to do anything.
Well, he did leave the game last year from his ankle.
Well, yeah. I wonder if that was that week, Tommy.
I bet it was that week. I
bet you're right.
He didn't come back after half, maybe?
Could be.
Something like
that.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
So he scored 23rd and only played a half.
Played a half. So, he's consistent as heck. You don't realize it, but to your point, Dex, about the rushing yards.
Yeah.
In fantasy, I mean, even when a guy doesn't have it throwing, when you can run like him, and Josh can run like him, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Well, nobody can run quite like Lamar. Lamar can run 8 yards and never take a hit, right? Josh Allen, if he runs more than 5 yards, he's taking a big hit.
Yeah. They're trying to hit him hard.
And he gets hit hard, for sure. Yeah. So that's a good kind of indicator. But you're right. Any of those top 4, you got to feel real good about. I mean, Burrow is not dipping. Daniels had some big ups and downs. You guys are right. So he went 3 week 1, 20 week 2, 3 week 3, 7, 12, 11, and then it gets dicey. 30. 1 week he was 30.
Woof.
11, 10, 25, 24. And then he goes solid. That last 5 weeks he went 1, 2, 7, 1, 4.
The playoff run.
Yeah.
So he got real hot at the end. But in the middle of the season, he had a real lull where he was not even a top 20 quarterback. So
yeah,
didn't he have a couple weeks where he was banged up too?
He did, and I think he was hurt for I don't remember what his injury was though. Was it shoulder?
Did they start the year with McLaurin though, or did they sign him?
Well, they did start the year with him.
McLaurin's been there for years, playing with trash bag quarterbacks.
Yep.
So that's what's amazing. He's done really well. It's a bunch of hot garbage, and then you got someone really good, and he does awesome.
Let's push into tier 2 because I think
your top 4 are solid.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be
there's going to be a lot more discussion on tier 2 because that's where we start varying a lot more in our who we value. Let's say it that way.
All right, so I'm just going to run through our tier 2 folks, and then we can talk about them and why we have them there, and who we think has upside, who we think could maybe slip into 3. So our list of average, so we have Jalen Hurts next. And honestly, we probably could have stuffed him in tier 1, but Philly beat the Chiefs. So screw you, you're in tier 2. Then we have Pat Mahomes. Again, it's not biased. It's an average. Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Justin Fields, who may surprise you guys, Kyler Murray, because he runs, man, and Jared Goff. So that is our tier 2, folks, that we have high confidence in. They're going to generally week to week put you in a position to get a lot of points. They have a high floor. Hopefully they're not throwing out too many 29s and 30s for you and getting your head chopped off. But these guys, because of what they can do, and I'll start off just with so Jalen Hurts, for obvious reasons, he gets a lot of rushing touchdowns and steals from Saquon. But as far as going into Pat Mahomes, so why do we have him up? A lot of it is because we just got offensive line help, which is huge. And we're hopefully are going to have most of our wideouts the entire season this year. Yeah, I'm not sure about suspensions, but if we get Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and then I like Jalen Royals to take that 4th spot, but it's probably going to be Juju at the beginning. That is a lot of weapons that are shifty. They're going to have Kelsey that's looking good and healthy. Noah Gray's a solid number 2 tight end. Then you got Pacheco, Hunt, Elijah Mitchell. There's a lot of people to dump the ball off to, and he's going to have time. Pat Mahomes and time equals a crap load of yards, and that means touchdowns, and Pat Mahomes can throw a lot of touchdowns. So I just have more confidence in him this year because of the line improvement and because hopefully his wide receivers are going to be on the field this year vertical. What do you think, guys?
So if I could jump in real quick, I just took some notes because I'm late to the party, but I think your Jalen Hurts is pretty solid because of the tush push. I mean, he does make a lot of points on the tush push.
They didn't outlaw it. They did not outlaw it.
There was a petition, and it was voted down. So we will see of Saquon Barkley running 99 yards and Jalen Hurts doing the last one.
Yep,
that's right.
Pat Mahomes, love to hate the guy. He does magical stuff. He's got arguably the best coach in the league. I agree with what Dex said. I don't know what Travis Kelce did last year, except he had his head up Taylor Swift's butt. But,
that's about what he did.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield, solid quarterback. Obviously, he's come light years since he's been in Cleveland. They just restructured his deal because he did such a good job, and he has plenty of weapons around him. Nix, he's got Sean Payton.
Yeah.
That roster keeps on getting better every year. And Justin Fields, I'm telling you, I'm on the train with this one too. If he's healthy, it's an Ohio State roster. These are the same guys that he was playing with at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, honestly, I think you guys are smoking crack. I would have Stafford.
Yeah.
Stafford is so much more consistent on a year-to-year basis, and I know he's getting old, but this might be his send-off year. I think it's going to be his send-off year, and I don't think it's going to be like, Super Bowl year, but I think he's definitely going to be consistent. Kyler Murray has too many problems playing, Xbox and PlayStation instead of reading the rule book. And then Jared Goff, that's one of those guys that, again, he'll throw 4 or 5 interceptions a game, but he'll have like 700 yards and 6 touchdowns to go along with it. So that's just my take on those guys. But, I think I would agree with most of those except for Stafford not being in that tier 2. That would be my only caveat, so to speak.
Okay.
I dropped my ranking on Goff this year a bit. I still had him high tier 3 or mid tier 3, but I'm worried based on who they drafted and kind of how last year went that they are just going to run over people. I feel like with Gibbs and Montgomery, they're just going to hand the ball off. They're going to dump it short. I just see them bowling over people, and they drafted these big offensive linemen. I don't know. I'm worried that he's not going to throw as much as he has in the past. And their defense is going to be good enough. They don't have to throw.
Do we have any concerns about the Ben Johnson effect?
That too. I think their offense may not put up as many points as last year.
On that note, so I looked into that, and here's what they said. So the incoming offense coordinator, and even talking to the head coach, right? So they're like, we're not going to mess with what's working. So Ben Johnson's offense, it's not him here, got it. He's not calling the plays, but we're not going to change much. We're going to tweak a little bit here and there, but they're going to run the same offense. They know what works. They've done it 2 years in a row, and it looks phenomenal. They're not going to jack it up and suddenly become like just something stupid. Quarterback sneaks all the time, run up the middle every time. No, they're not going to go vanilla. They're still going to have an expansive playbook. All the players know what's up. And the coaches they got are coming in, instead of revamping it to their own system, trying to fix something that doesn't work, they're going to try and not break the system that does work. So I don't have as much of a fear on that. I think they're going to keep the system that works.
This is the first big disparity we've got in our rankings because Dex had Goff at 8 as the high. I had him at 15 and Prue had him at 17. So this is one that is probably got some little more play in this one, a little more ambiguity probably. Everybody feels good about Hurts, Mayfield. I never thought I would say I felt good about Mayfield, honestly. When I was a guy
you always put up the Baker diagram every time he starts doing well.
I loved the Buster, but I always called him Buster Mayfield when he got drafted because it was like there was a cycle. Buster beats up on a bad team, everyone gets psyched about Buster. Then he plays a good team, gets some crap kicked out of him, and it's just kind of this cycle that happened with Baker. Or Buster, as I like to call him. But he really did impress me last year, and I had to kind of had to eat some crow because I think he is a solid NFL quarterback. If you look at his fantasy numbers,
he was
they're
good.
Consistent.
They're real good.
He doesn't have many down weeks from a point standpoint. You know,
He got his.
They said he's always 250 to 320, somewhere 250 to 320 in there. Always 2 touchdowns, but I think he relies a lot on running. And I think like what Prue was saying too. You talk about the Lions. You know, they run the ball 8 times, and then that one time you play action pass, and you got St. Brown, 80 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Goff can get it down there. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. I think he got out of the spotlight, stopped doing freaking commercials and having his wife in the spotlight, and now he's just consistent.
Yeah, and he's got, when you have Hall of Famer Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they drafted first round Egbuka. They have Jalen McMillan from last year, Cade Otton, Bucky Irvin catches a bunch, Rashad White catches a bunch. He can basically look left or right every single down, and someone's open. And that's really nice when you have that many weapons that are that good. And I think that's going to help them. I don't know if they addressed the line much. No.
Not as much as they should have.
That's kind of where I'm at, is that's, if anything, if I have one worry, it's that the offensive line is not going to get much time. Chris Godwin is coming back from a disgusting ankle injury. I'm not sure. Rashad White is kind of trending the other direction, but Bucky Irving's going up. So he's got all the weapons, but what's he really have? I'm not sure until you keep going. But Mike Evans, how many more years does he have, man? He's like 82 years old. How does he keep lining up on the outside?
So Baker Mayfield, in terms of finishes, fantasy point finishes per quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson finished in the top 5 9 weeks last year.
That's helpful.
Mayfield was number 2.
Was he really?
Finished in the top 5.
That's not surprising. It really isn't surprising.
8 weeks last year.
He's the guy you were talking about, Tommy, that throws 3 interceptions a game, but he throws 4 touchdowns or whatever.
He throws 4 tutties and 350.
I don't think he threw too many picks last year. That was the thing that changed, is he stopped throwing all those picks.
He did cut it down.
I think he had receivers that can actually catch the ball, and you added Luka from Ohio State. Sorry, but that guy was a top 5 wide receiver last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great pickup for them. Yeah, they do have a ton.
That's a good fantasy pickup right there, is that wide receiver. You know what
I don't think we'll get to him for sure. We talked about him a little bit in our previews for each division, our rookie impact players, but I can't wait to talk about him in our wide receiver rankings here in a couple shows.
Those are going to be fun.
Legit.
The other thing I don't think you mentioned, Chiz, is that we put in the Fantasy Pros rankings alongside of ours.
Yeah.
We had those blacked out so it wouldn't influence our picks. And Fantasy Pros actually had Jared Goff ranked worse than we did. So even though we were little bit out of sorts on where we thought he landed, overall we ranked him above where Fantasy Pros had him. So there's still value there. Right. He's just not as high as maybe I'd had him on my list in the past. Dex still thinks a lot of him this year, but
I think he's going to be consistent. I think he's going to have when you look at, so when I look at quarterbacks, right, I'm looking at like the best offenses. They generally have pretty consistent quarterback play. Not all the time, but most of the time. When you look at the best offenses last year, who is it? A lot of these guys on the list, man. In Detroit, their offense is still going to be really, really good. I mean, you think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to fall off the map? Jameson Williams is going to fall off the map? Jahmyr Gibbs isn't going to catch any balls for touchdowns? Come on, man. So I just think the offense can be so good. They're going to be putting up 24-plus points a game. Quarterback's going to get some of those, and he's moving the chain. So I just feel confident in the offense being still good even without Ben Johnson. I trust in that Detroit out. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I see that.
I'll tell you what, one of the things that's on the fantasy that you guys don't have is Caleb Williams, which I think people are smoking crack, because every press conference I watch with that coach, all he does is talk about how horrible Caleb Williams is getting the plays going, calling the right plays. Like, he keeps fumbling the ball, he keeps throwing interceptions. I mean, it's and everyone's so high on him. And it's like, based off of what? He's Johnny Manziel in Chicago, and he's awesome in college, and then he comes to the pros and he gets killed.
But his nails are so pretty. And his dress is so nice.
Such a beautiful man.
The nails are great. The fashion sense is incredible.
Sophia Cunningham will come beat up anyone that makes fun of him.
That's right. Well, we've got him at 15 this year. We've got him at 15, which is firmly in the middle. He's a tier 2/tier through.
Only because I had him ranked 21st. I think I dropped his average quite a bit. But.
Yeah, because Dex and I had him at 13.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think that's
the sober
right.
one when you did that.
That's right. That's right. I was a major hater last year on Caleb Williams.
I still am. He just had a lot of upside this year.
Yeah. I don't think he could be quite as bad as he was. But, man, he could definitely prove me wrong. I don't have a lot of confidence in what's between the ears. So I think it's,
Maybe it's all those offensive linemen they drafted to protect him.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait.
As we kind of hinted during our preview of the division with the rookies, what they did do is, so Caleb Williams has DeAndre Swift already and Roshan Johnson. They got him a 7th-round running back who never fumbled. That helps. But DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and then they added Luther Burden III out of Mizzou this year in the draft. And they also added Colson Loveland out of Michigan as tight end.
Yeah.
So they've got so many weapons for him. And Ben Johnson knows how to get the most out of his players, out of his position players specifically. He seems to raise everybody up. Now, can he raise up Caleb Williams? I don't know. You can't really teach.
You want to talk about
inherent leadership, but who knows? Right. Let's see what happens.
The ultimate yo-yo Caleb Williams last year. I will say this is what attracts people. He had 4 weeks where he's in the top 5.
Yeah,
in fantasy quarterbacks, he was
number
number
have some
1.
Bottom 5s in there too, though.
He was number 1 week. He was number 4 3 weeks. Then here's his bottoms: 33, 29, 28, 27, 26. 32.
And how do you get 33? There's only 32 freaking teams. He was below a backup?
No. Other quarterbacks get in, right?
Oh,
Somebody
so
gets
if they
hurt.
play a backup, it drops it down a whole. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was worse than the backup that played half.
Some guy came in and only played a half and got better than him that week. So that's how bad it was. So it was
the guy who took over for freaking Lamar Jackson.
Yes, probably was. It probably was the guy that came in for Lamar Jackson. But I'll tell you, when you see that week that he got 1 and then you see those weeks he got 4, you're like, oh, man, this guy could really do it. He's just so crazy inconsistent that I don't like having him on my team because he's going to bomb some weeks.
So we both have him at 12, Chisholm, but I don't think I'm drafting him unless he ends up being 18th and I haven't taken my quarterback yet. And the thing is, I won't get him. The thing is, I know some of these rankings I have these guys at, I will never get him because
the problem is you look at who you got him around, right? It's like, do you draft Caleb Williams or Jordan Love or Drake May?
Yeah.
All day.
I would probably do that, but you're not going to have as much upside with Jordan Love. He's not going to get you a top 5 finish, but
he's consistent.
He is consistent.
All right, here's one I want to talk to you guys about. And it's one that we all agree is up there, and the guy's kind of consensus. We have him a little bit higher, probably 5 picks higher than everyone else. Justin Fields. We like him. We like he's going to run, and Tommy already hit on it a little bit. But Aaron Rodgers didn't do much in the Jets last year. And arguably Hall of Fame, right? Multi-time MVP, Super Bowl winner. And now we have Justin Fields there, and he's got Breece Hall, who underperformed. He's got Garrett Wilson, who's very good, but they lost Devontae Adams. So now you have Josh Reynolds, the Lizard, Alan Lazard, and they do have a rookie that I'm high on, and we talked about him in our division preview, Mason Taylor. So Jason Taylor's kid out of LSU who set all the tight end records down there. I like him a lot, but Fields is kind of going to another situation where he has 1 weapon, 1.5 running backs. I think the line did get better for him, so I think that's helpful. But you see some risk there. We have him in tier 2, and I do, and I like him because I know he'll run a lot. And
you
I
guys have him in tier 2.
Yeah, so Chisholm and I have him in tier 2. That's a true story.
We're on the same page with him. So I'll say, and you tell us why you have him lower, but I'll say why I have him higher. I think the Bears effed up. I think they should have stuck with Fields over drafting Williams. I think he was getting better.
Yeah,
he was learning.
And all the weapons came after they got rid of him.
Yes. And they hit the reset button. And I was like, what? I don't understand what you're doing here. I'm not saying Fields is going to be a top 5 quarterback ever, but man, in fantasy, when you got a guy who could run like him, and he throws better than Tebow, the passing thing, like I like that in fantasy football. The legs don't fail. So I like what his upside is. I think they're going to give him the reins. If you look at who's his backup, like, I mean, it's
it's Tyrod Taylor, who's always someone that you don't really hate, and he'll fit that.
But Tyrod Taylor's not going to push him for playing time.
Yeah,
right?
He's probably the one that beat Caleb Williams that 1 week. He probably came in and got
he's gonna get, unless he gets hurt, he's gonna be playing, right? You don't have a situation like you do with the Browns where you're like, who's gonna start this week? It could be somebody different every week. So I like that about him. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I did have him a couple, I guess his rookie year, and he has some big games. He has some really bad games, but he has some big games too. So
everybody in Chicago owes Justin Fields a huge apology.
I agree.
Just like what you said, Chiz. It's like everyone thought that Caleb Williams was going to be like the second coming of football quarterback, and they can't even get a playoff in 25 seconds. But
no,
I agree with you guys. The upside on Justin Fields, I think this move for him with this coach and this the status of being a Jets quarterback, you know,
that's
you've
tough.
got Namath, you got all those ones, right? And you got these greats that you're supposed to be like the person. And Jets fans are as crazy as some of the other fans out there. But
they are.
Unrealistically so, but yes.
They haven't had a whole lot to cheer about lately, but I think it's their first solid. Like, I think when they got Aaron Rodgers, they knew what that was. That's a 1-year filler now.
Yeah.
Just like he is in Pittsburgh. But I think they might actually have a quarterback now that can learn the system, and he's got Ohio State players around him that he's used to playing with, and he can settle in if he stays healthy.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not a bad pick, I would say. I'd definitely take him over some of the other ones.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think one of the ones that is different for, I think I'm the only one that likes this guy, and that's okay. I think Drake May I think he's going to be really good.
He's not bad. Where do we have him? Overall, we've got him for 15.
Yeah, 15.
No.
I guess I got him.
We have 15?
I've got he's 16. No. 13.
I guess we got him at 13.
13. That's not bad.
And I have him ranked 15.
Right?
But how's that? Because you guys have him ranked so low. I don't know if that's correct. I think we might have messed that up.
You have him ranked so high.
I only have him like 11. But regardless, I like Drake May because we already talked about the coaching change is only going to help. Mike Vrabel is awesome. And New England, the thing that we even talked about during their division, rookie impact, their first 2 picks were, first they got left tackle, right? And then they got the center out of Georgia. Those are that's 40% of the line got way better. Drake May was running for his life last year and was still pretty effective with no weapons. When Demario Douglas was your number 1, and I don't even remember who the other guy was.
Demario Douglas.
He's not a number 1. But now they have Stephon Diggs, right? That's a legit number 1. They went and got Travion Henderson out of Ohio State. That is someone who can catch the ball out of the backfield, way better than Ramondre Stevenson. And Mac Hollins, I mean, he's a barefoot weirdo, but that dude makes plays, and he's got sticky hands, and he catches things. They got Kyle Williams. They drafted him as well. They got Jalen Polk, who
they're definitely better.
They got a lot more talent on the depth chart. So Jalen Polk out of LSU, like 2 years ago, he was like all the rage. He's 7th on the depth chart now, so he might even make the team.
Well, they were very surprising last year for a lot of teams, and they did nothing but improve.
Yep.
So I mean, it's some of those games last year where they were close, and a lot of them they pulled it off. It was like, who the hell? What team is that?
Yeah,
right.
But then they went out and got better this year. So I mean, it's
in coaching number 1. I think everything's going to be better with coaching. And if you remember Tannehill back with the Titans, that dude was not that good, and he did pretty well.
Yeah,
Drake May has a truckload of talent, way more talent than him.
Yeah.
More arm strength, faster, better reads, and now he has better weapons. So I think Drake May can have a great year. He's my kind of sneaky one in that tier, and he may be in your tier 3 out there, listeners. I got you. But I like Drake May. So when he starts tearing it up this year, just remember, I like him.
Only
only
issue I got with Drake is his upside. If you look at his output last year, he's
with no line and no weapons.
I know, but like he tops out.
Terrible
like
coach.
His best week was he was 7th, right? Now, he had a 7 and 8.
Yeah,
it's not. I got it.
Yeah,
but like he just doesn't have. And I think the reason why is he doesn't run. Right.
Well, he started running more.
You get, and I think you see a common theme here in with the exception of Burrow and Mahomes. Well, Mahomes runs some, but most of these guys that are at that top half have an element of running to them, and that's because those yards mean a lot to you in fantasy. So if you got a guy that's just a drop back passer, he's got to do a hell of a lot of drop back passing to make up for 50 yards of rushing that you could get out of the quarterback,
or an occasional touchdown. Yeah,
right. That's
Joe Burrow had a 47-yard rushing touchdown last year.
Yeah,
Burrow did.
Yes, he did. Everybody went left, and he ran right, and everybody was like, "Who is that guy?"
That was like the Steve DeBerg play action rollout right with nobody, and Marcus Allen dove in the pile. Like, no way is DeBerg running this ball. That's great. Naked boot to the right. All right, so let's jump into tier 3. So our tier 3 starts with Dak Prescott, who arguably could be in tier 2, right? That dude he's got some talent around him.
If he wasn't playing in a giant pile of toxic goo.
Yep, that's exactly right. So let me go through the list, and then we'll kind of highlight a couple of them. So Dak Prescott's next up for us. Then we have Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love out in Green Bay, C.J. Stroud down in Houston, Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, J.J. McCarthy, and Tua. The common theme with all these guys, in my opinion, is they have got some arm talent and weapons around them, but they've also got a little bit of they could tank any given week and throw up they can get your head chopped off and guillotine. And that's the problem. They have some floors, and Chiz, pull these up while we're looking at it.
I got
But these guys we mentioned, I bet they have multiple bottom 5 floors. And in guillotine, man, you just can't have that. And we read through, even the top guys did, right? Josh Allen did, Lamar Jackson had a couple, Jaden Daniels, sure. But, man, they also had like 10 top 5s and a whole bunch of top 10s. That's all you got to be, man. Just be in the top 10, top 12 most weeks as a quarterback until it gets later in the season, obviously. The guys that I like out of here that I think have some more upside, I want you guys all to kind of pick your own as well, but I really like Bryce Young. He's kind of the one in this tier I like the most as having a lot of upside. He's got a brand new weapon. Again, we talked about this in their division rookie impact. So Teteroa McMillan out of Arizona, he's slotted in as the number 1. And we talked about him. There's a reason. That dude has got mad talent. Adam Thielen, who's going to be healthy the entire year, he was on pace for another 1,000-yard season, another 100 receptions. That's their 2. Xavier Legette, their rookie last year, is their 3, which is probably a good spot because last year they stuffed him in at 1. He's not a 1. He's not good enough to be a 1. But he's going to be a hell of a 3, though. And then they got Chubba Hubbard out there, Rico Dowdle, and their line got better. Again, a better line and more weapons. And Bryce Young was improving anyway. God, he was playing really well. Because at the beginning of the year, if you recall, he was god-awful. We were saying they needed to cut him. The experiment's over. Send him to a new team.
Right, he got benched a couple weeks.
He did get benched,
And then he came back, and I don't know. It was like he shook hands with somebody and signed a new contract with the guy with a pointy tail, and he came out and was killing it, man. Bryce Young was like if you look at his last 3 fantasy finishes,
he was number 2, number 19, and number 1.
So
that's finishing strong right there.
The last 3 weeks. Now, granted, he's going against some backups in there too.
That's all right.
He still put up big numbers, and after week 10, the lowest finish he had was 20.
That's pretty good.
Now you look at this first half of the season; it's bad.
Yeah,
but
we're not looking at that.
It does look like he's learned, and I am one that's happy about him too, and kind of high on him because of all the reports that are coming out of camp. He's a dude that's really serious about getting better, and he's a great teammate.
Yep.
So
that was what was coming out of Alabama. That's what everybody said.
Yeah, that combination I like. He's a guy who wants to learn. His teammates are rooting for him. He's got some talent, obviously. He's a quarterback at Alabama. I mean, come on. He's got some talent. Sometimes that doesn't translate, but you don't want to see. I don't think he's nearly as bad as he was the first half of that season. So I like the upside with him as well.
Yeah. So Tommy Prue, which one of those out of that list do you kind of like, or maybe not like? I mean, either way you want to go with it.
I am extremely disappointed with the NFL currently because they forget that just a year ago, C.J. Stroud took the Texans to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, he was good
as a rookie.
Yep.
Okay. So the fact that everyone has given up on him and have him you guys have him higher than the fantasy pros.
Yeah,
but
he's good.
Let's talk about Joe Mixon is out for the season. We know that's bad, but look who's his
That is
backup.
bad.
Nick Chubb is the
Yeah,
backup, and
that's
he's
helpful.
still got a lot of love to give. Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, Dalton Schultz. They also got Cade Stover from Ohio State, and their defense is no slouch. And CJ last year being hurt, 3,720 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's not a slouchy thing. I don't know what his ranking was throughout the weeks and everything, but it's like you have one bad year, his sophomore year.
Sophomore slump.
Sophomore slump.
Sophomore slump.
What could happen his junior year when he comes back and everybody's healthy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was very
if I'm not mistaken, too, I think he was the quarterback with the least amount of time in the pocket on average.
Yeah, he's getting smoked.
In the whole year.
Running around all over the place.
So he had no offensive line protection. For whatever reason, they couldn't pick up blitzes or whatever. Maybe he got blitzed more than any other quarterback. Anyway, they put pressure on him, and he did not hold up well to that pressure. So if they've learned anything and they restructure some things offensively, I think he'll be fine. And that was one of the reasons I ranked him way higher than Fantasy Pros did. I think he has a bounce back year.
We also need to remember Nico Collins was out for a humongous chunk of that year.
Yeah.
And that killed people, and that killed him. That's your number one, and he is a far and away number one, and number two is a distant two. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Kirk and Dell this year. And again, we talked about in the preview, Higgins and Noel coming in, both from Iowa State. So they're going to fill those probably 4 and 5 roles, and who knows who's going to do what each individual week, but we know people get hurt. Those guys are going to have a significant role, and they're good. And Dalton Schultz is no slouch at tight end. I think CJ has a bounce back year as well. But again, when you go confidence, and you see a year like last year, that's why he's in tier 3 for me. Is this guy lost a little confidence in him? Like, he started throwing picks. That was what he didn't do year 1 as a rookie. Yeah. Then year 2, he got rushed. And what are they going to do this year again? Rush until he proves me wrong.
Yeah. So let me remind our listeners too. We're down in tier 3. These are the guys that you're like, okay, in any given week, I could maybe start this guy, but they're not automatic, right? So to me, a tier 3 quarterback is a guy that you can start probably 75% of the time, but you better have another tier 3 on hand in case they have a bad matchup some week.
Yeah.
And when a team like
need to watch matchups.
Yeah, when a team like the Texans plays against the Jets or some other, high blitzing defense that a team relies on, you may want to think twice about starting a guy like CJ Stroud that's been running for his life the year before.
Yeah. That's a good point, Prue. I would say if you've got a tier 3 guy, you probably have multiple tier 3 guys because you are going to play matchups. If you got a tier 1 and tier 2 guy, it's probably your ride or die.
Yeah.
You're probably going to play that guy no matter what. And tier 3, and if you're in tier 4, you're intently looking at matchups and like, can I squeeze blood out of this turnip this week?
Yes,
that's the only chance I got.
I'm playing my tier 3 quarterback when my tier 1 quarterback has a bye week. That's what I'm.
Yes, that's right.
That's
right. Or you got to buy.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
You
got to have
right.
somebody in there that's halfway consistent, or at least seems to be. While your big guy, has got a bye week.
What you want to avoid is what I did last year, which was draft a guy who you thought was tier 1, which happened to be CJ Stroud based on his rookie year, and then he ends up being a tier 3 guy.
Yeah,
and that really puts you in where you're scared. I don't think we have, when you look at the guys that we've got to this point, there's some guys with variance. You get those tier 1 guys, none of those guys are going to have that much variance. I think you're okay. Tier 2, you may have some of it. Tier 3, you're definitely going to have it. The guy that I want to talk about that we all had significantly lower than Fantasy Pros and most of the other services that I've looked at is one Brock Purdy.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Okay? Now, everybody has Brock Purdy pretty high. So why do you guys, I know I have him, but I won't let you guys talk. Why do you have him lower than what Fantasy Pros? We have him ranked at number 18, and Fantasy Pros has him ranked at number 10.
Confidence, man. When I look at the confidence level for San Francisco and Brock Purdy, if CMC's back and healthy, they're going to be more. I know, right? Who knows? But as of right now, he's healthy. But when he is, they run all the time, and he takes a bunch of the touchdowns. So he's like 20 plus touchdowns if he's healthy. Brandon Ayuk Don't know. Juwan Jennings, don't know. Ricky Pearsall.
When did
Marcus
CMC
Robinson,
get married, Tommy?
Jordan Watkins. I mean, a lot of these guys.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't know what to expect out of these wideouts. I don't know what to expect out of that offensive line who's not really getting much better. And George Kittle's great. I got nothing with Kittle. I mean, offensive players other than Brock Purdy, I have more confidence in, except for the wideouts. I don't have confidence in any of them. But Brock Purdy is the lack of confidence in his weapons.
That you said I don't have confidence in any of his wideouts. That right there is why I was like,
yeah.
Because they'll just double Kittle.
Brandon Knight is out for 8 weeks.
That's not helpful for him.
And that's his one.
That's his one. Ricky Purcell is at best a 3.5.
It's a decent slot.
Yeah, George Kittle is all he's got. So unless you're
George Kittle's his one. That's it right there.
Unless you're gonna wear out Christian McCaffrey,
and they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't see a Brock Purdy doing anything this year. It's amazing, unless maybe they know something we don't. But
I just think it's gonna be low-scoring games. I think they're gonna grind
X's and O's on it.
Yeah,
I agree. He scares me. I like him. I'm not a hater. Some people are Brock Purdy haters. I like him. He's a good kid. But he's to me the definition of a system quarterback, right? He's the kind of guy who, if he's got a good system around him and he's got good people around him, he's going to be pretty good. And he's had a great cast around him. I mean,
he did, but San Francisco just had a fire sale, man.
That's exactly right.
They jettisoned everybody.
Yeah.
So when you do that, all of a sudden the system quarterback doesn't look quite so shiny to me.
Yeah.
So I was shocked to see him as high.
Didn't they fire the coach too?
It's still Shanahan.
Can't remember.
Is it still?
Oh no, it is. It's still Shanahan.
I thought they did fire their offensive coordinator.
I think you're right about that.
The head coach.
I think you're right about that.
Still Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but when you guys talk about confidence in a guillotine league, he ain't there.
I agree.
No, he makes me nervous. I don't want him as my starting quarterback.
He's definitely not 10. I don't know why everybody's got him that high. I think we were more accurate with our ranking there.
Yeah, we got him at 18.
Yeah, so just to be clear, Shrewdness listeners, Brock Purdy is the guy that we had the most separation between our ranking and Fantasy Pros ranking. So we had him much lower than where a lot of people have him this year, which is...
I think Fantasy Pros has him at 10.
10. They had him at 10.
We had him more like 18.
Yeah.
Which means he might get drafted, he might not. He's right at the tail end of your 18-team league there as far as value as a quarterback.
And one other thing on that list.
I'm drafting Purdy, I'm drafting 2 or 3 other guys.
Yeah, one other thing on our list versus Fantasy Pros as we're going through this is that we're looking again for less volatility, higher floors, so that when you do get, a bad week can be a bad week. Just be 20th, don't be 30th. So we want to get guys that have more. You're going to be in the top half way more often, nearly every time, hopefully, than the bottom. I just think there's more opportunity this year for Brock Purdy to be in the bottom 10, like multiple weeks. That's why I don't have him anywhere near there. But as far as Fantasy Pros, they're looking at consistency over a season, and they don't care if you have a bad week because you're not done with one bad week in Fantasy Pros on a normal fantasy team. But in Guillotine, you're done. So
that's a good point.
It's the volatility. I think our list is going to be a little bit different. Because we are looking at getting confidence week after week of not being, you don't necessarily need to be top 5. Just don't be bottom 5. And I want more confidence to be in that top half regularly. And so I want to keep that in mind when we're doing this list. All right. Is there anyone else on our tier 3? Because if not, I got one more I want to talk about.
Let's say Jay.
I bet I know which one.
No, you don't. You have no idea who it's going to be.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I'm literally looking at the depth chart for J.J. McCarthy. And, how do you not have him higher? He's got T.J. Hawkinson.
Because I've never seen him do more than one drive as a professional.
Oh.
And I want to see what that looks like. I think he's going to be phenomenal.
I thought you'd had him top 10.
Well, I can't be that silly. I've got him at 20th, and it's just more. I've seen what the other guys can do above him, right? And C.J. Stroud, he's had a great year. Jordan Love's had some good years. Kyler Murray was top 12 last year. Dak Prescott could be a top 5 quarterback if everything works out. So, whatever. I've got him in that tier. But J.J. McCarthy, so far in camp, looks really freaking good. Justin Jefferson has a minor injury, but he's going to be good. No real issues. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, Justin Naylor, Aaron Jones. He's got weapons. And that line got really good. So they went out and hauled their offensive line this offseason. They helped it with the draft. They helped it in free agency. Holy crap. He's going to have some time to throw. And with that coaching staff, this schemes, I think this offense could be unbelievable. I mean, Sam Darnold, look what Sam Darnold did with a worse line last year. Now, J.J. McCarthy, you can say he has less talent or more talent or the same, whatever. I think he has at least the same, if not more talent. That's why he was picked where he was picked. And you can say, well, wait a minute, Sam Darnold was picked high. I know. I got it. I think they're equally talented and upside. But I think he's just got a great system in front of him. And, wow, I just think KOC is going to have some stuff in line for him and put him in a position to succeed often. So J.J. McCarthy is another one I highlighted with Bryce Young in that tier that I really, really like the upside. I think they could easily go into tier 2, and I think they could have a lot of good weeks. So J.J. McCarthy is the other one I like a lot.
So I'd like to throw one out there for your listeners. I personally think that this is make or break year for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been in the league for 4 or 5 years now, right?
Yeah.
He has his lineup around him is ridiculous. They've got Travis Etienne. They've got Travis Hunter. They actually have Travis Hunter listed as the wide receiver. He has so many weapons. They beefed up their line this year. They went out and got their defense straight.
Well, they got that Tampa Bay offensive coordinator as their head coach too.
Yeah.
I'm blanking his name right now, but
for me, Trevor Lawrence, if you're gonna get a tier 3 quarterback this year, and I'm not a lot of confidence in him, but I think it's going to be the year where he's either make it or break it.
Yes, I would agree with you. On Lawrence, he's an enigma because he has an incredible amount of talent. And in college, he was phenomenal. I loved watching the kid
Clemson,
play.
When he came out, he was no doubt number 1 pick.
And honestly, he hasn't had horrible seasons in the pros, but he just, that it factor, I'm starting to wonder about that it factor with him.
Yeah.
Like the intangibles, if it's just not going to work out. But I agree with you. I think it's make or break. McCarthy, I want to congratulate you, Dex. I think you guys have, you got rid of Sam Darnold for Sam Darnold.
And Daniel Jones.
You got Sam Darnold 2.0. He is
silliness.
He's the exact same quarterback, just a few years younger, and he'll do pretty good because he's got. I'd do pretty good throwing to those wideouts. So, he'll be all right until he pumpkins.
Yeah. Ouch.
I like to.
All right, we'll see what's up.
Stay tuned.
That's right.
A mid-season update.
So I think in this tier as well, there's other ones I think. So Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, and Tua Tagovailoa. Out of those 3, who do you think is more trustworthy? I'll throw it over to you, Prue. Out of those 3.
You said Tua, Justin Herbert, and who? Jordan Love?
Tua, and Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Green Bay.
Love. Oh, I think I'm higher on Justin Herbert than you guys are. I'm looking at where you have him.
Why is that in a run-first coach with a run-first offense with multiple running backs?
Because the NFL's not a running league. There's still room for throwing. You saw it last year with Ladd McConkey, who was a rookie and still had a phenomenal year as a rookie wide receiver in a running offense. Yes, I think they'll run plenty this year, but Justin Herbert's still got a cannon, and when he's healthy, he can sling it with the best of them. So I think he's, never going to be top 10 quarterback, but I think he fits in the top 15.
Man, we all thought he was going to be top 10, didn't we?
Yeah, year after year after year.
Out.
Yeah,
I think it's make or break year for him too. Honestly,
I think you're right.
You got the coach.
I think you're right.
The team. It's time to put up or shut up.
Yep.
So out of those 3, Tommy,
the highest. I'll give you guys the state after Tommy gives us.
Yeah, Tommy, who do you like? So Jordan Love, Tua, or Justin Herbert?
Oh, I'm going Jordan Love all day. I am not a Packers fan. His consistency and his learning ability over the last 2 years has, when you watch him, he has the confidence of like a 5 or a 6 year quarterback. And I know I think he's on year 4 or whatever.
He has the confidence.
Yeah, but his coach has got him set up, to be successful. And last year they made it to the playoffs, right? And who's his receivers? I bet you couldn't name one of them. without looking at it, Dex.
The one we talked about, so Golden is the one they drafted out of Texas. That's a humongous addition.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, you're right. It's a bunch of 2s and 3s.
Yes.
But
Jaden
Green Bay
Reed,
has a
Romeo
habit-
Dobbs, Christian
Green
Watson.
Bay has a
Romeo
habit of
Dobbs,
making
yeah.
offensive linemen. Green Bay, they make offensive linemen to be offensive linemen.
They do.
It's year after year, they have this line that always holds up well. And if you have a decent back and a couple receivers that are, even 2s, Jordan Love he's got the confidence to be able to put it there. So out of those 3, I'm definitely going Jordan Love on that one.
All right, Chiz, what do you think?
Well, 2 is 1 hit away from being a vegetable, so not him.
I know.
So I'm going to say between Jordan and Herbert, I'm going Jordan as well. I'm going Love.
All right, sounds good.
Love that answer.
Yeah,
it's a great answer. Great answer.
Out of those 3, I'm on Jordan Love as well. I think he just has more weapons around him, and frankly, I got him on the edge of my tier 2 for confidence level because I think if he takes that next step that Tommy is talking about, if he can just stop throwing to the other team in critical moments, like I don't know, the end of the fourth quarter, I think he could have a really, really good season this year. So Jordan Love is kind of my other sneaky one out of those 3. All right.
Love had the most consistent stats, although I will say this about Herbert. Well, Herbert's problem is he doesn't have great games. So he didn't have any top 5 finishes last year in quarterbacks.
And he won't this year either. That's
yeah, they run the ball.
He was 6th a couple times, but he's just not that good. Love, you got a second finish, third finish. And Tua, there's a bunch of dashes for all the games he missed because he hadn't learned to slide. I don't know that he still learned to slide. He did have a couple good games when he was in, Did
Herbert finish lower than 25th?
He did.
He probably did regularly.
Well, no, he had 3. He had week 1, he finished 25th. Week 3, he finished 28th. And then he only had 1 other bad week, and that was week 13. He was 31. Outside of that, he wasn't even in the 20s. So he's a lot of teens.
Yeah.
He's a lot of teens
horrible
when you look across his.
That's why he's a tier 3, right?
Yeah.
Given weeks, he can at least give you an average performance.
That's right. With Tua, you got like 31, 23, 3, 8, 26, 33. Like it's
you're always paranoid. The next touch is gonna put him in that rigor mortis hands and it's like I feel horrible. I just wish he would stop playing. It makes me nervous. I'm too nervous watching him play anymore.
Yeah.
And that's
I don't
not
like
good.
it either. Makes me uncomfortable.
Tua has got some serious weapons down there.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I mean,
those 2 alone.
Just every time he tucks it to run, though, everybody holds their breath. Like, this could be it. Don't look.
I know. Stop running for the first down.
They got as their tight end this year in Miami. They brought back old Darren Waller,
which is a mistake. They should have kept Johnny
Waller's
Smith
back in there. So I don't know. Darren Waller always was
though.
Darren Waller never plays anymore. He's always hurt.
He is,
and he's already hurt again.
Undisclosed. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, the Giants really enjoyed having him last year too.
It says he's not in football shape when he reported to the.
Probably because he's probably in a cast. Dude's always freaking broke. Yeah, Darren Waller won't be on my roster.
Bro showed up with a box of Dunkin' Donuts and a bag of Cheetos and was like, where do I line up, guys?
So here's your backup, though. You got Zach Wilson as number 2 and Quinn Ewers as number 3. So I don't know what Miami's doing if Tua does go down, though.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of nervous about all those guys. We'll get to those. We do running back and wide receiver previews, but that's exactly a little sneak preview, foreshadowing. All right, so let's jump into our last tier. Yes, this is my favorite tier. Out of these, we're going to say, if you had to draft one, if you had to draft some hot garbage, who would it be? So our hot garbage list is Sam Darnold, which is maybe hurtful a little bit since he had a great year last year, really.
He's the top of the hot garbage list.
He's the top of the hot garbage. He's the king of the heap. Then we have Michael Penix Jr., Geno Smith, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones, and Tyler Shough. Yeah. So those are some interesting characters. I think there's some upside within there. I think they're going to have some good games. But again, you guys, what we're doing here is like, all right, this week, are they going to deliver a top 10 performance? Guillotine, that's what you're looking for. And it's hard for us to say with a straight face at any given week, are they going to give you a top 10 performance? No, on these guys. That's where we're at. Can they? For sure. They can do a top 10. Hell, they can be top 5. But boy, are they probably going to be 24 and below. And Guillotine, you're dead with that. So that's
Daniel Jones finished 3rd one week.
I'm sure he did.
There you go.
Yeah, he probably ran for a bunch.
One week.
Well, was that the freaking Pro Bowl week when they were the only team that played?
Jameis Winston finished 1st one week, so there's that too.
It's true. So out of this pile of warm slough, who do you feel best about? So Pruitt, out of that pile that we have, and again, there's some talent in there. They can have some good weeks, and they all have. And hell, we got an MVP in that pile. I mean, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, 2 MVPs. So who out of that pile do you like their situation the best? If you had to pick one and you missed everybody in your draft, and suddenly you have to have one of these guys, who do you like?
Wow. I'm going to go with, this is tough. You know what? I'm gonna take Geno Smith.
Okay.
All right.
I think
Geno.
Hey, he had 2 top 5 finishes this last year. There you go, Geno Smith.
I think Geno's got a good situation.
Yeah, Geno's got a good situation. He's not too much like over the hill. Like he's still got a few years of youth left. He's getting up there in age, but he's not Aaron Rodgers old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his situation, and I think he's still got something left in the tank. I hope to God he's not on my team, but if I had to pick one of those guys, Geno Smith.
What do you think, Tommy?
Okay, so you guys do not have my pick on your list, but it is on the Fantasy Pros list.
Okay, all right.
If I had to pick someone, I would pick Flacco, and here's why. Okay.
Flacco Flame.
I know he is hot garbage, okay, but he came into Cleveland and he took them to the playoffs, okay? He was, I think he was very consistent. It was 2 years ago, I think, or maybe, 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But he has got something to prove. He has got that syndrome that says, I am not a washed up has-been, so I am going to throw 18 interceptions, but I'm going to have 7,000 yards. And then if I had to have a P, I'm going all in on Cam Ward. I'm like,
okay, so I'll have you say Flacco, he finished 4th one week last year. So there you go. I like that. He finished 37th one week too, but I think that's probably because he came in and took a knee. That's the only way I could figure he got 37th. But
minus
Dex,
1 yard.
How about you?
So out of this pile, and boy, is it a pile, one that could do all right. I feel like they've just been a good quarterback away. And I'm not saying he's a good quarterback. That's what makes it hard to do. But the New York Giants and Russell Wilson, if I'm picking out of piles, because I like Tyrone Tracy Jr., he's a converted wide receiver at running back. I like Cam Scatterbo. The dude had, 60 catches last year in college. He's got Malik Neighbors as his number 1. That's a stud. Wan'Dale Robinson, sneaky and not that bad. And I just think there's enough people that kind of catch those trash bag passes. And he'll have a high floor. He scrambles enough. And I think he's probably good for a 180 to 220 and 1 touchdown. Like he can probably pencil in a weak-ass line like that any given week, which should get him
around 10 points.
Yes. So
2 top 3 finishes last year, Dex.
Well, I'm
for
sure he did.
Mr. Russell Wilson.
But how many bottom 5s? I know he had a bunch.
22, 23. He had some rough weeks. But he missed. He didn't play till like week 7 or something.
Yeah, because he was hurt. And Justin Fields took the first. I think he went 4-1 or something. Justin Fields, and then they benched him.
Yeah,
and they benched him.
That was feel good. We don't want you doing too well. We got to bring in Russell the love muscle here.
Right. Well, if I'm picking from this flaming hot pile of crap, I am thinking along the same lines as Tommy. I'm going, why not swing for the fences? Give me Cam Ward. And here's why. I don't think he has anything around him, which makes it really, really challenging.
That is good. I like where you're coming from there.
I like what I've seen from this kid in his interviews during training camp. I saw a couple one of my favorites was, I think I sent to you guys a little clip that I saw of him where he was like, I come in early. My dad's got to get up at 5 o'clock, and he's got to go work a job he hates. Why can't I get up at 5 o'clock and come in and work and do this job? And I was like, ooh, I like that. So this kid is like, he's got some good perspective. I like kids that are grounded like that. He's not coming in like, Johnny Manziel, throwing money around. I'm Mr. It. So
he was overshadowed. Have you ever seen a first-round draft pick more overshadowed than Cam Ward?
Oh my gosh!
Everyone was talking about Shedeur and all that. So
nobody was talking about him.
He's got to come in and be like, "Hey, I was the number one guy.
Look here, look here,
right here,
right now." I do think he's going to make some mistakes. He forces some that I saw in college, but man, he's got arm talent. He could run.
Did you hear the second half?
They're picking number one for a reason.
No, what was the second half of the quote?
The second half of that quote was like, I show up early because it's a job I love, that type of thing. Second half of that quote was like, and I think anybody that plays on this team should be doing the same thing. Like he's kind of throwing down the gauntlet.
I like it.
There we go.
Stepping up
the leadership.
early as
I like
leader.
It.
Yeah. Challenging his team to do better.
Yeah. Lead by example is a thing, man.
Yeah, it is. So I like that. The other guy I'm slightly interested in is Penix Jr., kind of the wild card there.
Yep. Yeah, another good work ethic, good character.
I don't know what I think of him yet, but I know in college he could ball out in college. We'll see if he can actually do it in the pros. I'm kind of skeptical of that, but as far as a flyer goes, I'll probably go with him.
All right, Tommy, what do you got?
So let me read something to you guys real quick. Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you got to put the dark horse in there of
I know.
However you say his name. Because what I just read you, think about if you had any other quarterback except for this guy, you had that roster, what would you do? That's easy tier 2, right? Like borderline tier 2. So he might be a dark horse. Like we don't know a lot about him, but the kid, he's like, hold on, I got it right here. He is 6'5", 219 pounds. Right?
He looks like a quarterback.
He's a big boy, and he's got those weapons. And I'm sorry, but when you have Alvin Kamara, if he's healthy, that's a good out of the backfield / behind the back running back.
So here's my counter to that, Tommy. So Derek Carr was that guy with those weapons last year, and I still had him in the bottom tier 3, tier 4, because he's just not that good.
Yeah.
That guy has actually played for a few seasons. There's Shuck. I think that's what we decided. Yeah,
it's Shuck.
It's Shuck.
It's just not going to be good because Derek Carr is actually competent and couldn't do much. This line didn't get better. Again, it's a terrible line and not a good defense. And it's just not good.
Are you already calling for Spencer Rattler?
No, I'm just saying they put him in a bad situation because he wasn't supposed to even be playing this year.
Yeah.
Derek Carr retired after the draft.
And that was dirty. Carr did them dirty. He did that. That wasn't right. That was
they upgraded their left tackle, though.
To Tommy's point, he's going to be throwing the ball a lot because they're going to be behind a lot.
I just think he's going to be throwing to the other team
That's a good point, too. You do want a guy that's got to be throwing a lot. That's the only bad part about when you get when you get Jalen Hurts and they're up 20 points in the third quarter, you're like,
no more points.
Slinging the ball.
You can squeak by some week on a trash time touchdown that your quarterback throws when they're down 6 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
That still counts as 6 points. So
that's
4
true.
points.
The last guy I want to throw out here is what in the world happened to Anthony Richardson? This guy was like top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was so excited about this guy. Why are we dropping him so low?
I think he's in the top 5 preseason rankings last year for fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what happened, right?
So low?
He left his brain on the sideline when he got knocked out.
He had a top 4 and a top 2 finish last year.
And what else?
And how many DNFs?
Right.
23, 31, 31, 22, 24.
Yeah, there it is.
He's got an arm, though. I got to say, this was a kid that I was down on coming in. I watched him play at Florida, and I saw him just throw. He had an incredible arm, but, man, he threw some stupid throws, and everyone was just like, oh, he's got his incredible arm.
Yeah.
The NFL never learns on these guys. They never learn on these guys. It's like, oh, man, look at his measurables. Wow, look at how he can throw the ball from his knees 80 yards.
That's what you're looking for.
Jamarcus Russell could do that.
Yeah, we love that guy.
Come on. I'm not saying he's Jamarcus Russell, but I don't know. Daniel Jones is fighting him right now for a starting position. That should tell you something.
Yeah, well, Daniel Jones is also fighting for his life. They're both fighting for their life, so we'll see what happens. Their NFL careers, your time as a starter for one of these guys is done. And so we'll see what happens. Preseason, it's going to be a legit camp battle, and then we'll see what happens week 1. As of now, Richardson's at the top of the depth chart. I can easily see Daniel Jones overtaking that. We'll see, right? But
what about Aaron Rodgers' backup?
Yeah, Will Howard.
Well, that's a good one. All right, let's hit that one real quick. So Will Howard is who you're speaking of. So Will Howard of the Natty champion Ohio State. Yes. And he was not their first pick overall. He was not their second pick overall. Will Howard came into the situation, and it's kind of a great landing spot for him. I kind of like it. And we talked about it in our preview of that division when we talked about Pittsburgh. Will Howard is a solid beast, specimen of a quarterback. I think he could have a really good upside. Tommy, what did you see when you looked into this one?
So I watched some videos on Will Howard, and he's definitely a solid number 2. And what people are calling him is the future of the franchise. They're saying Aaron Rodgers is definitely here as a temporary mark, but Will Howard, they're calling him the sponge because he is literally learning everything and picking it up. And obviously he's got something to prove. He had a horrible combine showing. We talked about that when we did the rookies and stuff like that. But I think he's got a lot to prove because of what happened and how far he fell. And the fact that he's out there taking second team and first team reps when Aaron's over icing his knees.
Yeah.
I think you got the future of your franchise right there. And I think I called it when we did the rookies. Week 5 or 6, Aaron Rodgers is down, Will Howard's in. And if Will Howard gets in, they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah. I could see like when I look at the backups, when I say who's the best backup out there, if a backup starter goes down or loses his job, who's the best backup out there?
Yeah.
I mean, besides the obvious Gardner Minshew for the Chiefs, right? That's obvious, but hopefully we never see Gardner Minshew. Love him, but hopefully never see him. I like Will Howard a lot. Another backup I like is Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I know everybody's like,
Mr.
everybody
Slinger.
like at the I love when Jameis comes in. I do. I love it. I want to see Jameis Winston play
because we're going to get a great interview.
Fun. It's more fun when he's playing. So I like him as a potential backup that could get some points. But outside of that, there's not a lot that I look across the league and I go, oh yeah, if that guy gets a shot, I think he's going to put up a lot of points. Do you guys see anybody in the backup group that tickles your fancy?
I got one more flyer. Dex won't like to hear it, but Sam Howell. If JJ goes down for some reason, Sam Howell stepping in with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
I like Sam. He's solid.
Yeah, he could be all right.
That would be
he's solid.
Fun to watch. I think JJ will be fine, but Sam's a capable backup.
He threw the ball around the yard in Washington quite a few times. I like him.
Yeah. Yep.
Backups and backup only. We talked about this one as well during our NFC West. Jalen Milroe in Seattle. I think he's got upside. I just don't think he has it for 2 to 3 years. So
yeah.
I think he would suck this year, but going forward to a year or two, I think that Jalen Milroe's got just a ton of talent. So we'll see what happens with him down the road. But
arm talent, as they say.
He does, but he's also fast as all get out, and he's a hell of a running back at a quarterback position. So he'd be better than Tebow right out the gate because he can throw.
Yeah.
And he's just as fast. So Jalen Milroe, I guess, would be my sneaky backup. If the starter went down, he wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
But
I noticed nobody said Trubisky.
Trubisky's not on the list.
Nobody said Trubisky.
Not on the list.
Not many scenarios where Trubisky plays.
What happens in Cleveland?
Dylan Gabriel, I believe, has the backup, right? Did Dylan Gabriel get it?
Hill and Gabriel.
I don't
they
know.
have Shedeur listed 4th.
Yeah, they got
Dylan
him
Gabriel is
4th.
2nd.
Shadeur's 4.
Yeah.
Pickett's
But I
third.
heard a scenario the other day that said the Cleveland Browns are going to trade basically Shedeur and whoever else they have to try and get the number 1 pick next year, because the owner of the Browns is best friends with the Mannings. So they're going to do everything they can to get Arch Manning next year.
Well, they should just start Shedeur Sanders and they'll get him.
Right?
If
Don't
really
trade
keep
him, use him.
They want to keep him healthy so he can trade the spot away.
I mean,
Yeah.
they've got like 8 quarterbacks. They should trade somebody to get something, because right now they have nothing but chaos is what they have.
Deshaun Watson's still there, boys. I mean, don't forget about him.
Oh my God, that's right. He's the 5.
Well, he's too busy getting massages, so.
I know, he's busy. Him and Tucker are out there getting massages and everything.
Wasn't Watson a top 5 fantasy quarterback at one point?
He was.
How quickly?
Not last
You guys
year.
need to do-
These
you need to do
Clemson guys tend to fizzle out in the pros.
You need to do an episode on worst contract deals ever.
Well, that's a great.
Yeah.
That one's that's gonna be tough to beat. That one. That
Yeah.
one is the albatross of albatrosses right there.
Pretty bad.
Like,
All right.
like what?
Well, gents, let's wrap this thing up. We're getting a little lengthy. Shrewdness listeners out there, hope you enjoyed our quarterback preview for this year. Our tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you like them, let us know which ones you like. If you don't, you're like, you guys are complete idiots. Which ones? And tell us why. We'd be love to have the back and forth. We'll check our socials, obviously. If you got some sneaky ones in there that we should have talked a little bit more about, let us know, and we will try and hit that up. That's kind of all we're going to do for this one. The next preview we're going to do is going to be our running backs, so we'll be hitting that up. Again, we're going to have these a little more spaced together, not going to be a week apart, because we would not get you ready for the draft if we did that. So we'll have the running backs out a couple days after quarterbacks, and then we'll hit wideouts and tight ends. We don't do kickers and defense here, so we might even combine our tight ends with one of those groups. Anyway, I want to thank Tommy for coming aboard and helping us out with the preview again. So we got our first repeat guest, so it's great. And
that's right.
On behalf of Chiz and Prue,
Here's to many more,
Dex,
Tommy.
That's
hey,
right.
I'm here. Just give me a call. Next knows how to find me.
That's right.
Excellent.
So until next week, stay shrewd, all.